Has a chance, going for the double tap himself, bounces it in as well!
Every kid dreams of playing on the world stage.
SquishyMuffinz, you're nuts! Sticks it under the defense off of the ceiling.
Of becoming the best at the thing they love.
Squishy with the challenge, Torment again. Gimmick with a shooting opportunity. Good first touch. That shot just high. Follow up from Squishy. And Cloud9 take game 1.
Few ever get to fulfill that dream.
For the counterattack. Gimmick plays it down. Squishy's there. Puts it back and what an angle from Squishy as Cloud9 takes the lead.
Even fewer get to do it in a way that they never expected.
Unable to take it, but Squishy now with Daily! He puts it through! He's been going for this stuff all season, and he pulls it off here in the most clutch moment.
The player to invent the shot himself to get the delayed front flip.
Johnny gonna turn around and go for this. He does get it. Nice pass off the back wall. That's Squishy. Oh, what an angle from SquishyMuffinz! What just happened?
Squishy extends the lead.
Growing up in Toronto, Canada, Mariano SquishyMuffinz Arruda spent his days fantasizing about crosses.
Rooney putting one up. Acosta. Header. Goal.
Corner shots.
To get that shot on goal. Beckham to the other side to deliver one, and it's in the back of the net!
And bicycle kicks.
Kevin Nelson thought about it. It's gonna put it in. Good curve on the ball. Agotello!
The thing is, unlike most esports prodigies, his childhood dream wasn't to play video games for a living. Squishy had another stage in mind.
Going pro in football or soccer is something that I always wanted to do, but like it always seemed a little far-fetched because there's so many kids, like growing up, you see so many kids wanting to go pro in that, right? And like it just seems impossible.
That's not to say Squishy didn't love video games, or that they weren't a close second to his obsession with soccer.
Growing up as a kid, I played a lot of soccer or football, whatever you wanna call it, and it was just probably like my favorite pastime. Like I'd go outside, play with my father every now and then, just pass the ball around, try to learn new skill moves, new tricks, and stuff like that. Like,
and yet, in spite of his deep, inextinguishable love for the game, it had become clear by the time Squishy reached adolescence that his career as a professional footballer wasn't meant to be.
The only problem was I had pretty bad asthma when it comes to running for long periods of time, so I couldn't actually like play it all the time if I wanted to. Like if I wanted to get good at it, I couldn't play it all the time because running up and down the field for me, I started like coughing up blood and stuff, and just like it wouldn't be good.
From then on, Squishy became increasingly serious about video games, and eventually, esports.
Started off with GameCube, just playing stuff like Mario Party with my brother, just fun games like that. And then I got into competitive Uncharted 3, which is like a gun game, and that's what really got me into liking tournaments and stuff.
And then in the summer of 2015, something beautiful happened. A 15-year-old Squishy got his hands on a new game, one that managed to combine his two greatest passions. Squishy didn't just like Rocket League, he felt as if it was made for him.
Soccer definitely plays a role into liking Rocket League. Just the whole having a ball, having cars, just like an exciting way to play soccer. That's pretty much what it was, how I saw it. That's why I got into it.
Within a month of the game's release, Squishy was uploading Rocket League content to his previously barren YouTube channel. He'd always had a knack for handling vectors, mastering aerial movement, and, well, skillfully knocking things into other things. But it wasn't until he started documenting his Rocket League grind that it became clear. He had a mind for soccer. But Squishy was still leagues away from being a pro player. As far as anyone knew, he was just an insanely talented guy who was filling a much-needed hole in YouTube's Rocket League content.
What is up, guys? SquishyMuffinz here. Today we got for you episode number 5 of the Road to Grand Champ series.
The problem was that since Rocket League was still relatively new, there was basically no one in the inaugural season of the RLCS who hadn't spent time with the game's predecessor, supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars. Yeah, you heard that one right.
I started playing supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars when I was in 6th grade.
I visited my best friend the first time, and he played that game, supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars, and I played it there the first time. So that's how I got into it.
I started playing SART and I was like, oh wow, a physics-based football game that's actually made well.
But Squishy continued to rank up, invent jaw-dropping maneuvers, and rack up wins against some of the best players in the world. By late 2016, Squishy had amassed over 40,000 subscribers, racked up countless minor tournament victories, and was starting to catch the attention of some truly esteemed pros.
So I started in the 1v1 scene. Like I just grinded 1v1s pretty much because I didn't really have anybody to play with back then. I was a PS4 player, and there was like a couple of my good friends that played with all the time, but they started to slowly move over to PC, and I was like one of the last left on PS4, right? So I didn't really have anybody to play with anymore. So players like Justin, who's on Energy, he was my friend from back on PS4, and he ended up switching to PC. Jnaps, who's on G2 now, he's my friend back on PS4, ended up switching to PC. So I didn't have these players to play with anymore, so I was kind of just grinding 1v1 on my own.
One of those pros was Kyle Torment Storer.
Hey, what's up guys? So today we're back with another 2v2 Road to Rank 1, and today we are joined by Torment, one of my favorite players to play with,
who'd been competing in the RLCS since Season 2. Torment was respected, well-established, and exactly who Squishy needed to help him go from pub star to RLCS ready. In November of 2016, he and Torment grouped up with Season 1 Worlds winner Lachinio and a substitute named Gimmick to form Squishy's first real roster, Iris.
TSM hit up Lachinio, and they said that if we made RLCS, me, Torment, and Latch, that we could get signed by them. Latch was like obviously a world champion, so that's why. It was mainly because of Latch. But that's how pretty much we stole Torment. We used TSM to steal Torment. So that's how I got him. That's pretty much how I got him to join me. Because he had his own team. But he also like realized that I had potential, obviously, because I played with him in the past, and Latch was a previous world champion, so it wasn't a bad pick for me. It wasn't a bad choice from him.
As soon as they set tire to pitch, Iris excelled. Come the new year, they were beating some of the previous season's best teams, and by March, were gearing up for the Season 3 qualifier. This was Squishy's first shot at the RLCS, and, well, it didn't go very well.
we're all kind of off, we weren't playing that great, and this showed.
But Squishy was far from deterred. Within 2 months, he, Torment, and their substitute, Gimmick, had left Iris and the championship-winning teammate, Lachinio, to form a roster that was younger, more dynamic, and more Squishy-centric. They called themselves the Muffin Men.
Latch kind of took a step back from Rocket League. He wasn't enjoying it at the time. He was playing H1 a lot, so he was relaxing. Like, he didn't really want to think about it, didn't want to stress about the game anymore for a little bit. And I think me and Torment decided we should give Gimmick a try and tried him out, and we played amazingly.
After finishing 4th in the inaugural RLCS Summer Series, the Muffin Men managed to qualify for DreamHack Atlanta 2017, which was then being touted as the most stacked tournament in Rocket League history. In addition to being Squishy's first LAN, it was the first time his adoring YouTube followers were given the opportunity to see his face. Going into Atlanta, there was still something of a question mark surrounding this young, explosive band of carballers. Once it was over, let me tell you, you knew the Muffin Men.
Who would have believed it that the Muffin Men could have come out so strong against this veteran roster? 8 seconds remaining. Will NRG be eliminated?
Final 2, can they do it? A missed touch, it's right at Fireburner. He has to defend the net, they slam it down. The Muffin Men take down the North American favorites. What a display. Squishy and Torment going absolutely off.
After toppling NRG Esports in the quarterfinals, and G2 Esports in the semis.
Ooh, I cannot even imagine.
Breakaway, Gimmick, it's wide open, right side. The Muffin Men take down G2.
How does such a tense game end with such an open net? Gimmick is going to be the one to place it in for the Muffin Men, and they move on to Grand Finals. The Muffin Men take down G2 4-2.
Squishy, Torment, and Gimmick were tasked with taking down Gale Force in a grand final for the ages.
Gale Force Esports trying to get their second title of this summer after winning in Brisk. Gonna see if they can do it here again at DreamHack, but either way, gonna have a fantastic champion. The North American David versus the EU Goliath. This is the clash of the two regions. We love it when the finals come out this way.
I mean, you say it's the NA David, but look at the teams they've already taken out. They've already taken out two Goliaths.
This is their third.
They took out NRG and G2 on their way here, them being the Muffin Men, and now they're looking out to take another one.
This would be quite the tournament run if they were able to pull it off.
The problem was that Gale Force weren't just any opponent. They were the opponent. A powerhouse who would go on to join Dignitas after solidifying themselves as gods of the game. But the Muffin Men didn't care.
But can they hold the line versus the high-powered offensive Muffin Men? Goes
Sneaks it under him. Nuts! SquishyMuffinz, you're nuts! Sneaks it under the defense off of the ceiling. Just one goal of just one championship. Here we go. Game 7 between the Muffin Men and Gale Force.
The Muffin Men were both able to bring the series to a full 7 games and edge it out following an absolutely nail-biting finish.
Might be the only chance that Gale Force gets. Can they do it? Bump on the goalie attempt. It's in the corner. Can they keep it up? It's going into Gale Force territory. Oh, it's still up in the air. There is still a chance. The Muffin Men are trying to knock it down. Is it going to be knocked down? No, it's still up in the air. Keeping it going is Gale Force, and it falls. The Muffin Men are your DreamHack champions!
Ladies and gentlemen, DreamHack Atlanta, make some noise for your champions, the Muffin Men!
Following the unlikeliest of Cinderella stories, this humble, hungry content creator had finally managed to make his mark on the world stage.
The winning team here, the Muffin Men, somebody pick these people up, please. They are some of the best team we've ever seen.
Needless to say, someone did. After striking gold in Atlanta, Squishy had proven that he was the real deal. It came as no surprise then when his team got signed by a Tier 1 legacy org, Cloud9.
Everything was moving so fast. It was like we had such a good team. We lost the qualifiers. Then we used our sub, who I knew was good. Gimmick was my friend for so long before I even got in touch with G2 or anything like that. To use our sub, I knew he was good, but I didn't think we'd be that good with him. And we went from doing so good to so bad, so good, and then Cloud9. That's what it was. It was such a roller coaster of emotions, and I didn't know what to feel, but I was just rolling with it, I guess. I was giving every single tournament my all, and I was just, I don't know, trying to make everyone see that Cloud9 didn't make a mistake.
As a way of brandishing their newly acquired banner, C9 took Season 4 of the RLCS by storm. After taking first in the North American play-in, they sauntered their way to a 6-1 finish over the course of the regular season.
What a way for North American League play to end, as we see Cloud9 crowning, sitting right up cleanly at the top of the standings.
The problem was that their rivals, G2, had managed that very same finish. C9 had established themselves as the strongest roster in the region, but only by an extremely narrow margin. There was a tremendous amount of hype surrounding the Squishy squad going into the finals. North America hadn't taken an RLCS title since Season 1, and C9's sudden dominance was being heralded as a return to form for the region at large.
I think for the European teams that are waiting backstage, they have to worry about the C9 we saw in Game 2, plus the C9 we saw in Game 5.
But as soon as C9's first match against PSG LGD rolled around, it became abundantly clear. No amount of hope, praise, or fanfare was going to win them a world championship.
We've already had one overtime go to 5 minutes. Pharaoh, though, will find it, put it through, and PSG stays alive finally in 5 games.
Finally, a small mistake from Gimmick, not able to get behind that, but his teammate trusted him and didn't follow up. Torment staying right behind in that.
With 4 do-or-die series standing in between them and the grand finals, there was no question. If C9 were going to win this tournament, they'd need to go on one hell of a run. And man, did they.
One more goal will finish it. That will go in. Cloud9 will probably put themselves up on series point.
Wow, this misses on the wall, and that will do it. Lethamyr could possibly carry it, but there's no way he's got enough boost to get it all the way down the field right now, and Torment will put it into the ground. Cloud9 are the North American Regional Champions.
Before long, they found themselves in a face-off against a Kronovi-led G2.
This is an incredibly important match, potentially a match of these guys' careers in a certain sense. It's Cloud9 versus G2, North America versus North America, to see who advances on to the top 3 of the World Championships.
C9 lost the first game, but managed to take the next 2 in succession. Then, just as Squishy was on the cusp of advancing, his rivals prevailed, forcing a 5th and final game.
Finally touch G2, keeps their hopes alive and moves into game 5.
In the last 30 seconds of that game, we saw so many opportunities for Cloud9 and finally able to break that G2 defense, but the incredible save there from Kronovi and Rizzo at the end to keep that 1-goal lead was so huge.
But in a game 5 in which only 1 goal would get past either team, Squishy came through.
Gimmick plays it down, Squishy's there, puts it back and in. What an angle from Squishy as Cloud9 takes the lead.
So smart here, Gimmick to just control this ball. And once he takes that 50-50, he recognizes he has both Squishy and Torment, and he spots the goalies moving closer to him and opts to go for that far back.
After winning 3 series in succession, C9 squared up against Method in Game 1 of the lower bracket finals. And that's where it happened.
Scoreline in game 3. Cloud9 unable to take it to Squishy now. With a stealing shot! He puts it through! He's been going for this stuff all season, and he pulls it off here in the most clutch moments.
The player to invent the shot himself to get the delayed front flip and just destroy Method on defense. Even they have to be impressed.
Squishy performed the most miraculous maneuver in Rocket League's brief yet illustrious history. His signature ceiling shot. It wasn't just the fact that Squishy had managed to pull a ceiling shot off on the world stage. It was the way he did it. Or better yet, the way he didn't.
Man, just watch, admire, practice it at home and fail because you can't do this. I can. I'm sorry, you probably can. I can't.
It's hard enough to go for this at land, but to fake it underneath.
Look at how late he flips there.
He struck fear into the hearts of Method with that shot. He flipping his car around, faking the hit, and then shooting it and using his flip at the final second. We talk about Squishy all the time being a pioneer of those ceiling shots in competitive, and he pulls it off in the lower final.
And he didn't even smile.
By rotating his car forward, Squishy was able to trick both defenders into thinking that he'd already made contact with the ball. He hadn't, of course, and the defenders were baited into jumping too early as a result. It was pure, unadulterated artistry. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
It's been a great run for Cloud9, but Method has shown their mettle, and they will face Gale Force in the grand final.
Talk about endurance. Method losing the first 2 and then winning 4 games in a row.
C9 simply weren't strong enough to stand up to their European opponents, but there was no mistaking it. That goal would live on for as long as there was Rocket League to play. Despite emerging from RLCS Season 4 as one of the best teams in the world, Season 5 saw C9 falter in a way that few predicted.
Online, we've never performed to our fullest online. And when we get online is when we really come alive and we really play our best. And you can see that with like our results. Like online compared to LAN is 2 completely different things. And I think that, I don't know. Like, that season, yes, we didn't play as well online, but on LAN, we still finished third. Like, that's what matters. To us, making LAN is the most important thing.
With regional competition getting stronger, Squishy's roster only managed to take 3rd in the regular season, and they barely qualified for the finals.
People always say NA is weaker than EU, but there are so many teams in NA who can threaten the top of NA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, any of the lower teams in NA, people wouldn't agree with this, but any of the lower teams in NA are more than capable of beating Energy G2 us. For sure, easily. They can if they just play well.
Season 5 saw Squishy achieve his most mediocre RLCS result of his career. It also saw his European nemesis, Dignitas, become back-to-back world champions and arguably the greatest Rocket League roster of all time. Suffice it to say, Season 5 didn't quite go as Squishy had planned. Season 6, well, that was a different story. Coming out of Season 5, it was clear C9 still had a ways to go if they were going to close the gap between them and the European monolith that was Dignitas. By the time the Season 6 finals rolled around, they weren't even considered the best team in North America. They were, however, a fan favorite. People loved Squishy, both as a competitor and as a content creator. He'd cemented himself as one of the game's true mechanical gods. Still, everybody wanted nothing more than to see Squishy live out his dreams. People had had the opportunity of seeing Squishy go from a gifted YouTuber to a top-tier professional, and they wanted his story to have a happy ending. The issue is that C9 lost their very first upper bracket matchup against We Dem Girls, which meant that they'd have to start their run in the first round of the lower bracket. Remember that run from Season 4? That one was 4 best-of-5 series, and C9 were only able to win 3 of them. This one would be 4 best-of-5s and 3 best-of-7s, since they'd also need to reset the bracket come the grand final. So, with high hopes and low expectations, the community watched as Cloud9 embarked on what might be the single greatest lower bracket run in the history of esports.
I'm fully expecting Cloud9 to make an incredible lower bracket run. These guys are just too good.
Only a 1-goal game. Banking one in again. There's Torment, and he's added his second.
You do not want to see them put on match point, but not if Squishy and Gimmick have something to say.
We know Squishy for his scoring. He does not have a goal in this series. It's 5 assists, and now he finally adds one.
This is exactly what we were expecting, Cloud9. We saw how close it was between them and We Dem Girls, and now going up against Tainted Minds, Cloud9 just had such a big advantage, and they continued to just excel.
We now have Cloud9 versus Energy, the 2 best teams from North America. It was Cloud9 all season long up until the regional championships with NRG.
I think keys to success for Cloud9 are how well they get the ball away from the side. Squishy down the middle.
Squishy gets 2.
The open net, Torment can't capitalize, and that is not good.
Stalls it, but Garrett G can't get there. Torment will put it in. Chooses to go for the pass play instead. 3 players crash in the box. Gimmick puts it in. The demolition made the
North America versus Europe. Cloud9 falling to the lower bracket early on in this tournament, but a 3 over Tainted Minds, 3-2 over NRG to get to this point, going up against Flipside Tactics, a fan favorite.
Mystic next to his own box, cut off by Squishy, up immediately is Torment. Not a great touch, this shot by Gimmick, tie game. Torment keeps control of the ball, looking to flick to Gimmick. Gimmick shoots and he gets the goal! Squishy in midfield, 10 seconds for Flipside. They gotta go the distance, but here's Torment! Close! 2 goals, 7 seconds left, they've done it!
The defense gets spread out from Flipside, and Cloud9 gonna put this game away.
They have their eyes on the grand finals. Standing in their way is the Chiefs. Scary lineup.
I'm saying it right here. These guys are the true challengers to take down Dignitas. I expect them to make a historic run. No one has ever made top 4 by going down to lower round 1 except for this Cloud9 squad. They are taking out everybody, and they only have 2 more teams in their way.
Squishy on the transition to get from midfield, off the crossbar and in. Cloud9 strike first. Kami now trying to play it out towards the middle of the field, and he does, but he's picked up by Torment. Cloud9 take game 2. Torson's just trying to harass Squishy. Squishy, he's got a break on it. Cloud9 3-1. He beats everybody.
One of the best in North America, one of the best in Europe. And you don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot on the line for these guys, and Cloud9, they've been on a heck of a tear through the lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 completely different situations. Cloud9, they lost to We Dem Girls early, but they almost had that series. Since that point, Cloud9 has just been on an absolute tear, whereas We Dem Girls suffered a pretty devastating defeat at the hands of Dignitas.
Squishy with the response, now back down, beating everybody off the backboard. Gimmick's there all by himself, tap it down and in. That'll be the first goal for Cloud9. You heard them on the desk talking about it. What a play, are you kidding me? The final 5, Remco can't do it. That clear will do it. Cloud9 secure their chance to challenge Dignitas in the finals. It'll be North America versus Europe for the World Championship.
If Squishy was to earn his first World Championship, he'd need to dethrone the dynastic Dignitas. No easy feat, of course, since they'd won the last 2 finals in succession.
There's the world against that team right there. Team Dignitas.
Dignitas were everything that Squishy and his brethren weren't. Structured, patient, and disciplined. a well-oiled European car-balling machine. C9, on the other hand, were rowdy, loose, and loved to improvise. But they could afford to be, since Squishy could set up goals from anywhere.
Hits it back. K-Dot, not the greatest touch, and the first goal of the grand final goes to Squishy. Squishy with the challenge, Torment again. Gimmick with a shooting opportunity. Good first touch. That shot just high. Follow up from Squishy. And Cloud9 take game 1. Squishy all the way in the back corner gets the demo on Panda.
Great read from K-Dot.
Time running out. Dignitas on the cusp of being shut out. And a miss there. Gimmick is going to clean that up. Cloud9 secure this game.
What is going on with this Dignitas, James? Am I the only one that sees this?
Cloud9 were dunking on Dignitas, and after resetting the bracket, they had no intention of letting up.
Squishy has a chance, going for the double tap himself, bounces it in as well! Squishy extends the lead. Torment, you hear the chants, and an MVP caliber finish right there. And Gimmick off the kickoff again, Carpet! Now 2 goals separate Cloud9. It looks like they might do it. 10 seconds. Cloud9, they are about to do the unthinkable. They've done it! Cloud9 dethrones the kings of Rocket League. The title comes back to North America Carpet. What a series! And they do it. Cloud9, your Season 6 World Champions!
It's pretty hard to stumble upon a player as adored as Squishy. And it isn't because he's a world champion, a top-tier striker, or a mechanical god.
Cloud9 unable to take it to Squishy now.
He puts it through!
It's because people got to witness every step of his journey.
This is episode number 9 of Road to Grand Champ.
To watch as he experimented, innovated,
Le dunk de Squishy, c'est magnifique, ça rentre dans le but, ça redescend.
and improved. To see him embark on the path to greatness, make it to the end,
Cloud9, your Season 6 World Champions!
and thank everyone who decided to go along for the ride. The best part, though, the ride's not over.
I'm so proud of my teammates and how they performed. I don't think it's necessarily a play style you should copy, but we played great, and I'm so proud of them.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.